Hello, and welcome to this time we can spend together on short devotionals. This month we're going to be looking at bitterness and how it affects us and what we can do with it. We're going to be starting out with Hebrews 12:15, and that says, "Looking carefully lest anyone fall short of the grace of God, lest any root of bitterness springing up cause trouble, and by this many become defiled." This verse tells us that we should be looking carefully. And this is a Greek word used very similar to the word that's used to refer to the way that pastors or elders oversee the local assembly. Believers are not only to watch their own lives, to give testimony of peace and holiness, but also to look out and help those in their own circle of acquaintances at church. It also tells us that we may fall short of the grace of God. We shouldn't do that, but this means to come too late and to be left out. Many people who are in the assembly may know the gospel and say they believe in Christ, but they still turn away. This is a willful disregard for the truth that they know. We are exalted and even commanded to make every effort to see that no one comes short of the grace of God. In chapter 4, verse 1 of Hebrews, it says, "Therefore, since a promise remains of entering his rest, let us fear lest any of you seem to have come short of it." The verse also is talking about a root of bitterness. This is an attitude of those within the church who have turned away and are corruptive influences. The picture here is of roots spreading poison to the whole tree. This comes about often when we have unconfessed sins or unforgiven sins that are left to fester and to affect us in the way we deal with others. I believe that the author of Hebrews here is talking from Deuteronomy 29:18, and this is where it's the renewal of the covenant with the children of Israel while they were in Moab. And the verse says, "So that there may not be among you a man or a woman or a family or tribe whose heart turns away from the Lord our God, to go and serve gods of these nations, and that there may not be a root bearing bitterness or wormwood." We need to be alert to these influences and these attitudes where the truth has been suppressed and it's not spread. We can do this in a way that we can avoid this fault. And I believe the answer to this is in verse 14. Verse 14 says, "Pursue peace with all people and holiness, without which no one will see the Lord." Verse 15 tells us to be vigilant, and verse 14 tells us to be diligent. Pursuing peace relates to loving men, and pursuing righteousness or holiness relates to loving God. Our prayer today is that we will be on the lookout for bitterness in our own lives that we can deal with through our faith in God. Thank you.